Alright, so whether you've created a presentation from scratch or using one of the templates, or maybe you're editing an existing presentation, at some point you're going to want to save your changes. If you've created a presentation from scratch, when you go up to the Save button here on the Quick Access toolbar, you'll notice that the pop-up says Control S is the keyboard shortcut. The Save option will automatically launch the Save As dialog box because your presentation needs to have a name and a location to be saved. Now, when you're just making changes to that existing presentation that's already been saved, clicking the Save button simply updates your changes and doesn't ask you for any information. So if we were to come up here and click the Save button, you'll see it takes a second and our changes are updated. Now, if I wanted to save this presentation to a different location or into a different format, I can do that as well, but I need the Save As dialog for that. And to access that, we go to the Office button up here. So give the Office button a click. And down below Save, you'll see the Save As option. And you'll notice over to the right we've got a number of options here. We can save this PowerPoint presentation and keep it as a PowerPoint presentation. We could save it as a PowerPoint show, which is kind of neat. It saves your presentation as a slideshow that can be opened anywhere. So you don't need to have PowerPoint to view the slideshow. If you're going to be handing this off to someone who doesn't have PowerPoint 2007 yet, maybe they're using an older version, you can save this presentation in the previous format. Now, the new format for saving presentations in PowerPoint 2007 uses a different extension. When we come up here and save as a PowerPoint presentation, the extension is going to be PPTX, whereas older versions was simply PPT for a PowerPoint presentation. We can also save to other formats like PDF or XPS, and if we want to choose from other formats as well, for example, maybe an outline in rich text format, we could do that too. So right now, let's just go back to save this as a previous version of PowerPoint. When we give it a click, here's the Save As dialog box I was talking about. So here we see we've got a name down here, ECP2. We don't see the extensions, but like I said, we've got a new extension for 2007. The old extension will be applied so long as PowerPoint 97 to 2003 is selected. That means now I can hand it off to somebody who doesn't have 2007 and they'll be able to open it up on their computer. But let's take a look at some of the other types we can save as. Quite a few choices here. There's our PowerPoint presentation. That's our default with the new extension. And there's our current selection, PowerPoint 2003, all the way back to version 97. We could save this as a template, a macro-enabled presentation or template. We could save it as an old version of a template. You can see there's the show option where it's just simply a slideshow that anyone can play whether they have PowerPoint or not. And you can see an older version of that as well. So we've got all kinds of choices, even web pages down here, graphics. There's the outline at the very bottom I was talking about. So if you want to save this as a rich text format outline that could be brought into another application like Microsoft Word, for example, you've got that there too. So we'll just leave it here at 97 to 2003 presentation. And when we click Save, it's going to be saved to the default folder. Now if I go up here to the very top, you can see that my default folder is the Lesson 2 folder. If I want to change the location, I can do that. I can go back up a level by clicking PowerPoint. I could come down here to my favorite links and go to Documents, for example, if I wanted to. I could go to the desktop, my Pictures folder, Music. I can click More here to go down to search for various folders. And if I wanted to, I could also navigate using this little area up here to go to previous locations. So you can see I've got quite a few options about where I'm going to save this. I'm just going to save it to my Documents folder here. I'm going to keep the same name and the same format, and I'll click the Save button. So that saves my document in an older format of PowerPoint. It's taking a little bit longer. You can see the compatibility checker pops up now. I may have some features in this slide presentation that are difficult to translate back to a previous version. So you can see, for example, here that I have a shape and possibly some text that was edited in an earlier version, so slides 1, 4, 6, and 8. I've got SmartArt graphics on slide 3 and 7. So when I click Continue, there'll be some changes made to my presentation, and I'll be working in compatibility mode. So if you look up here on the title bar, I'm working on ECP2, but I'm in compatibility mode now, which means some of the features in PowerPoint 2007 will not be available to me here as I work on this presentation. It'll be those features that were not available in previous versions of PowerPoint. So our changes have been saved, but we've saved this to a new presentation in a new location under a new format, which means we still have our old one available to us in our previous location as well. So that covers some of the save and save as options. Next, we'll look at creating a presentation by opening other file formats in PowerPoint.